Fuck it. Let's start. It's time to talk about the end. The end of the best. Tama. Welcome back to Tambay TV. I am your host, Pael Fajardo, and with me is a special guest, second time on the podcast. Give it up, ladies and gentlemen, Howard Ko. What's up, brother?
Hey, what's up, bro?
It's been a while.
I know, it's been too long, right?
You know, the reason why we're here, bro, is to discuss one of the best shows we've ever watched on TV. When I posted my thoughts on the end of season 8, ikaw yung, sali ako. I'm like, shh, fuck yeah, to have you anytime back on this show, bro.
Well, thank you for having me, man.
Of course, man. How have you been, my
Good,
brother?
good, right?
Oh, let's drive and dive right into it, pare. Your thoughts on the final season of Game of Thrones. General muna, your general thoughts.
Well, I liked it, right?
Diba?
I liked it. It was what I expected, actually. I didn't know how it was gonna end, but I kind of felt I knew what the mood will be, right?
Mhm.
The mood was going to be, the beginning will be confusing, dark. There was gonna be a lot of twists and turns. Come on, everybody
Exactly,
knew that, right?
diba?
Everybody knew that. They were foreshadowing that from the very beginning.
Uh-huh.
You didn't know what's gonna happen,
Uh-huh.
right? And even all the interviews that they had of all the stars, they were already saying that it's just gonna be different, right?
And it's going to be sad. Everyone
gonna
was
be
saying it's
sad,
going
right?
to be sad, and it's not going to be what you expect.
Right? It's real life, you know.
Diba?
Shit happens.
Exactly.
Can I say that? Shit happens. Yeah, shit happens. Right?
And it's not, ako, when I was coming into it, ever since I watched, I forget which season it was, but it was Ramsey Bolton when he said, if you think this is going to be a happy ending, you are not paying attention. You remember that? Ramsey Bolton,
yeah,
Battle of
exactly.
the Bastards, Ramsey Bolton.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and that is the theme of the show. Diba? Na talagang it's about subverting your expectations and not really getting what you want.
It's not a Disney
Diba?
film, right? People had thought it was a Disney film.
Yeah,
It's not.
and that's why I don't understand with this whole toxic. Parang everyone's like, it's not what we expected. It's not. I'm not happy. I feel sad. I'm bigat. I'm like, then that's how it's working.
Yeah,
That's how
exactly.
it's effective.
It was fun that way. It was good because it leaves you wanting more. And if they've actually done the great job, because when you think about it now, we will talk about this forever.
Diba?
Right?
It's got talking points.
It could have been this, it could have been that. They should have did this, they should have done that, right? Let's have a petition. I mean, they got it. They did it right because now you don't have to talk about it for the rest of your life, right? So they won.
Diba? Whether disappointed, kasi okay,
Oh.
season 1, let's take it
Yeah.
back. Because everyone's like, that's not what I expected. Why am I sad? Dude, season 1, they kill the main character, Ned Stark.
Yeah, that's right.
And real fast. Everyone's complaining, I should have done blah blah. Dude, Ned Stark got killed second to the last fucking episode.
Yeah.
What? Diba? So,
Exactly.
doon pa lang, alam mo na this is not a trajectory that it's not supposed to be going in.
That's what made it compelling. Right? Like, okay, they're doing something different for the first time. This is not a fantasy. I mean, it's based on fantasy, but it's not a fantasy show. Right? It's about politics, it's about love, it's about honor, intrigue, all rolled into one. And as much as they can cram in like 10 episodes to 6 episodes, from 45 minutes to 1 hour and 20 minutes, right? And and more or less they were successful. I mean, they could have done better, but I think,
which I want to get into since you started and that segue to that. What for you are some of the things they could have done better?
well, I think if they were there's some of the stuff they didn't flesh out, right? They jumped a lot of things, right? And I didn't know why, if they were gonna do 1.5 hour episodes, why not just make it like another episode, just to flesh everything out, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they were like when they were traveling from place to place, they were jumping, and there are stories there that could have been nicely fleshed out because in the first couple of seasons, that's what they did. They fleshed it out, right? It made you more invested in it. like I can give you an example. The what is that? The weapon that Arya used to kill the Night King? Is it the cat knife, cat skill?
This is the one that
It's something a
it's
cat.
It's a Valerian.
It's a Valerian steel dagger, something called cat.
Oh,
We'll look
shit,
it up later,
I
right?
don't know the one.
Right,
What's
so-
the name of that sword? Yeah.
If you read about
This is the one that little fingers.
yeah.
That's little fingers.
so there's a term they use in movies called a hero prop.
nice.
right?
I like this. Okay.
So if you watch the first episode again, and if you can watch it in recap,
uh-huh.
it's when they say a hero prop in films or in TV,
Uh-huh.
it's like they show a certain prop that's gonna be a big deal down the line.
Yes.
Right? And there are a lot of things in Game of Thrones that they could have shown, but they actually made it a point. They talked about it, right? They talked about this was the knife that was supposed to assassinate Bran, right? Then it was given to Catherine Stark, right? And then Sam read about it in the Citadel, right? And then it ended up going back to Arya,
Yeah.
right? And Arya was used playing around with it, and she's good at daggers. And sure enough, at the end, that was what they used to kill the Night King. Right, so they thought about it. I mean, maybe they didn't write about it in the beginning, but they thought, okay, there are certain things I think we're gonna keep like consistent in the whole film, and more or less they tried to do that.
Okay, go on naman diba? Speaking
nagawa
of
naman nila,
that dagger
Right.
and Arya, what are your thoughts before we get into the last episode? I want to get into the death of the Night King. In your opinion, was it right that it was Arya and not Jon who kills the Night King?
I thought it was a good idea. I thought
Yeah.
it was fair. It was fair. I mean, Arya was the trained assassin.
We spent like 2 freaking seasons of our training.
Right? And if you're gonna kill a king like that, who's like he's a supernatural being, you gotta be sneaky as shit, right? You have to sneak up on that person, and they foreshadowed that because Arya was like sneaking up on Jon, right? She knew all the ins and outs of Winterfell.
Of course, bahay niya,
Right,
that's her
behind
house.
in, right?
Yeah.
So and then she was practicing with the sword, changing hands, right? So that was I thought it made sense. I thought, she was the one who should have killed the Night King, but I thought it was a little bit like maybe they could have. It was cool, but it was she killed the Night King. It was so quick. Right, like all these things were happening.
Everything's felt so quick.
And then we can talk about that was a poor defensive war strategy, but
So you get into that.
Right,
People have been
but
criticizing that.
but it's like it was just like all of a sudden she jumps in the air and right,
Patay,
changes hand, patay, right? And the Night King, I mean, he shot a dragon. He could not have stepped aside or sidestepped. Right? I mean, like, all he had to do, right? But although he did catch her pala. He did catch her. Right?
Huli naman niya.
Yeah,
And she
huli-
dropped it with
yeah,
a drop
yeah,
in, stab move.
I mean, that was, in real life, that would be really, really fast, right? You drop and stab, right? But in slow motion, it felt like the long night, right?
That's true. Pero the defense of Winterfell, the start, it was a powerful start, and people were also complaining that it was too dark, you don't see anything happening. I'm like, but that's the point. It looked like a rave concert,
Yeah.
and then all the, di ba? Parang
The lights.
the lights,
Yeah.
Melisandre lighting up all the
Yeah.
Dothraki swords, or what do you call it, sickles, or
Yeah.
whatever. And then, puta, dahan-dahan na ubos. You're like, whoa, nice. For me, it was cool. I mean, I
It's
didn't
okay,
really
yeah.
need to see another...
It's cinematic.
Exactly.
That's the word
Exactly.
to me. It's a cinematic event. I mean, we could talk about this. You could talk about military strategy for hours. I mean, the only thing I thought they should have done was like they should have just kept firing artillery, right, at the beginning, just to see where everybody is.
Sabagay,
Right? They had
oo,
artillery, right? I mean, okay, even
They
the
did,
first-
they had
yeah,
catapults and
catapults.
shit.
Just like in the early on, I would just start firing shit like bahala na, whoever it hits, right? Let's see what happens, right?
How about ito? Another thing that a lot of people have been complaining about is, well, again, people will always bitch, and you are entitled to bitch
It's fine.
with your own opinion.
Yeah.
But I want to get yours on Danny's quote-unquote heel turn. You are a wrestling fan. I know this
Okay.
much, right?
Yeah.
More or less.
More or less.
Diba, there's a heel turn. They call it a heel turn.
Okay.
What's your take on Danny's heel turn? Was it convincing? Was it rushed? Is maybe the general
Yeah.
feeling of the whole season. So we'll put that in the burner and say, okay, we all agree it was rushed. But at the same time, I personally understand that dude, they've been doing this for 10 years.
Mhm.
I know it's been 8 seasons, but they've been working on it for 10 years. So, medyo, Benioff and Weiss, both the writers, have Star Wars next.
Yeah.
Diba? They have Star Wars next. in
They're
their
excited, I
pipeline.
guess.
Exactly.
They're
diba?
pretty
Diba?
excited, right?
This is waiting. I gotta finish this HBO.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that part I will understand and kind of forgive.
Yeah.
But going back to Danny's turn, what's your take on that?
I can convince myself that it was the right play,
Okay.
right? I mean, they are the children of incest, sort of like the Targaryens, right?
Yes, definitely.
So,
I'm judging mo.
right? I mean, that's why I can convince myself, right? And
Uh-huh.
if that was the plot point,
No, but did you like it? Did you? What's your?
I didn't like the way she died, right? I liked. I mean, I thought she, when she turned, I knew, okay, something's gonna happen to her, right? But I didn't like the way she died. But it was okay. I mean, I didn't. Like I said, I could convince myself because, all of a sudden she became alone again, right?
Yeah.
She's been alone. She's never really had anybody, and when she did, she pushed them away. She pushed her lovers away.
Uh-huh.
Her lover, her original husband raped her, and then died, right?
Yeah.
And then, like, when they kind of brought her into all the widows of the Dothrakis,
Mhm.
right? She didn't want to be with them anyway, right? So she was kind of
Uh-huh.
lonely, and then she lost her only bodyguard.
Yeah,
So
advisor.
So
Jorah.
so maybe it drove her nuts where she didn't have counseling, but
Definitely.
John was the last person she would have expected to turn on her,
Mhm.
right? And John played a part in making her sort of crazy, or at least, like, maybe if she wasn't crazy, like a normal person would be affected.
Uh-huh.
You'd be like depressed, right?
Yeah.
Because all of a sudden the one you love betrayed you.
Exactly.
Right, and he did, because he said don't tell anybody, and he told everybody, right? So which is like,
Well, technically,
which is a very John thing to do,
to two of his
right?
to his siblings.
But it's a very John thing to do, right? Like,
Yeah.
that's his moral compass, right?
Mhm.
But so she's a very lonely person. So it was only the dragon and her,
Exactly.
right?
Especially during the
Mm.
last 2 episodes.
Yeah.
There was Missandei got fucking
Yeah.
her bestie
Yeah.
of all besties just got decapitated in
Decapitated,
front of her
yeah,
whole freaking
exactly.
army. So I'm like, syempre, game. But you know who I really blame for all of this? It's John. And it's not just because of the betrayal.
Yeah.
It's because he didn't fuck her. Remember that scene where she was talking with Grey Worm,
Yeah.
handing him the collar of Missandei,
Mm.
and he's like, let him in.
Yeah.
And then she was like talking about fear and love and how she doesn't have any love here. She kisses John, and then John pulls back, and then she's like, fear it is then.
Yeah.
Remember, this is a girl who just lost 2 of her closest and longest allies.
Yeah.
Jorah just got killed in the Battle of Winterfell,
Mhm.
and Missandei just got decapitated.
Yeah.
She needs a fucking grief fuck.
Yeah.
Stop.
Right?
I mean-
She needs stress release, right?
Stress
She
release.
doesn't drink. Tyrion drinks,
Exactly.
right? Tyrion drinks, Bronn fucks, right? So,
Right?
I mean,
Wala.
it's a, yeah, she's just lonely. I mean,
Exactly. And then John doesn't give her
isolated,
exactly. If John just fucked her that time, you know what? It's not your
John
fault.
is
that
worse than Jaime. See, because Jaime is a fuckboy. But
That's
John
true.
is like the brooding, mysterious type, right? That, like, I can love you, but I'm a rock star, and I have so many things in my head.
Exactly.
Right? And I can't understand you, and
I know what's right. How do we know what's right? All of a sudden,
yeah.
I don't know, man. But for me, him killing her is alright by me.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it felt rushed, and taking that out of the picture, because we know that it was coming into it, it's only going to be 6. And things were going to happen fast.
Yeah.
I think all of us wish that it would have been, they could have made it 2 more seasons, maybe.
They said
And
2
then
more
it would-
seasons. Actually, they said if they were going to stretch it out, they could have done 2 more seasons.
Of what, 6 each?
I don't know, but I could imagine it could have been, this season would have been like 8 or 10, and then another
Diba?
6, right? Maybe.
Wala, Star Wars is waiting,
Star Wars
bro.
is waiting, right? And I think everybody's tired. I mean, it's not. And
Yeah,
it's,
that's
it's
what-
not easy to write.
Exactly. And also, dude, 10 years. You know what I mean? This is 10 years of everything they've worked for, and it's been an awesome 10 years, bro. Let's face it. it's best show. Anyway, anything in your
Yeah,
else
so
that you wanna-
speaking of best shows, like we were
Go,
talking
go, go.
about this early on, right? Like one of the things I loved about this show,
Mhm.
right, is it brought back like watching television together.
Yes,
Whether it's
we
your
were talking
family
about
or
this
your
before,
friends, right? I mean,
yes, yes,
so,
yes.
in my case, this season, my friend said it's the last season.
Mhm.
Let's have a Game of Thrones night,
Nice,
right? So
yes.
it comes out in the morning here,
Mhm.
but we would wait out night where after everybody's done work, and then we would hang
Uh-huh.
out and have a drink. Shout out to Andrew and Karina.
Sup, Andrew,
right?
Karina.
So they would host like a Game of Thrones night, and we would have like a few
Nice.
drinks, we'd watch it, and we talk about it.
None of you watch it beforehand.
None
It's
of us,
just
and
like
then
a-
so the whole mornings was like avoiding Facebook, avoiding Instagram, avoiding Twitter, anything that will spoil. But it was fun because I look forward to it every Monday night.
yeah,
And now when it's after 7 weeks, what do you do next?
exactly.
Right?
Uh-huh.
So like what happened was for us, we actually skipped the last 2 episodes because the second to the last episode because my friends went abroad,
Uh-huh.
and then so the last episode we watched it together with the second to the last. So it was like
Galing,
a
ah, so
3-hour
no one
film.
watches it in advance.
No one watches it in advance,
Talaga,
right? So it was
galing.
fun, right? I mean,
Yeah.
the spoilers were hard because
I'm pretty sure. And you were on Facebook because you
Yeah,
saw my
yeah,
post. I
yeah.
mean, I didn't post any
Right.
spoilers.
you could see it. I mean, I think it's hard to avoid, but it was still enjoyable. It didn't it didn't take away from the experience because I thought the
Right.
experience was hanging out with your friends, hearing them
Yeah.
like, oh wow, what's going on, and then all that. It's high def television.
Yes,
Right.
sounds.
Eating chips, chocolates,
Yeah.
drinking, whatever beer. That's fun. I mean,
Yep.
how many shows brings people together?
Together, yeah.
Right?
Also on my end, it's also a thing with me and my brother Gabe and his wife Sitin. We watch it together. Like Mondays for me is like twice. Once I watch it in the morning. Sometimes Gabe's either in the office or sleeping, but I just need to watch it early in the morning and then watch it again at night with friends. And then I also watch it sometimes another time with my friend si Bob at his house again, as you said, like huge TV. He got a new TV, so we're watching it.
1080p.
Yeah,
4K.
4K,
Yeah.
2K, whatever.
That's how you spot the
iba yung-
coffee cup. Yeah.
You're correct. I love also it's the communal experience. watching it.
Exactly. Right.
I really wish we could have done like a viewing party. I think there were Pen and Dragon.
They had some.
They
I
had-
mean,
they
I saw
tried.
it in the States. I mean, I saw some videos in London, but here I didn't hear as much of viewing parties, right? Like, but we specifically did it, right? I mean, just a
Pero
small
galing,
group,
diba? It's
yeah.
something
And
that brings people together.
yeah,
I love that.
and I hope like we were talking about it after it was done. Like now we're like, this is fun. We should. What are the other shows we want to watch?
Exactly.
Right? Like, I mean,
Yeah,
it doesn't
yeah,
have to be
yeah.
on a Monday because Monday night's kind of hard, right?
It's
Right?
very hard. It's
So,
very hard.
But what are the other nights that we can kind of hang out together and just move?
No, what are the other shows? What
Exactly.
Other show
There's
can
not a
we-
lot of
Wala
shows
na.
that can bring people together and watch
Yeah.
it.
The way it ended, also, you can still continue. It didn't feel
Yeah.
like an end because you
Yeah.
can still explore John being king beyond the wall or Arya in the west of Westeros.
I have one major question
Yeah.
about John going north of the wall.
Uh-huh.
When the Night King's dead, who's left? You don't need the wall anymore, right? I mean, I'm thinking.
Well,
about,
there's no more wall. I mean,
There is a wall, right?
it's
There's-
broken. Diba?
It's broken, but I guess.
Viserion, the
Yeah. So.
vampire. Sorry, not vampire. Zombie Viserion tore a part of it down at least.
So I wonder who are they going to protect against with that wall?
Or maybe he will just rule. He's like the new Mance Raider.
Yeah. Well, he's not. He's supposed to be. Isn't
Diba?
it? He's not supposed to be from. He's just supposed to be in the Night Watch, actually, right?
Yes.
They just told him to go back to the Night
Night's
Watch.
Watch.
Right. He didn't have to go north of the wall.
See, how about Sansa as Queen of the North?
Well,
What's
I
your
like that.
take?
I thought.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I thought that was
Uh-huh.
that was gonna happen. That was of all the
Inevitable.
stories of the Stark, she had the best. I think that it played out exactly how it should have played out. Right? She was kind of naive princess.
Uh-huh.
Right?
Little Dove.
Little Dove, and then she really went through a lot of bad things. She saw a lot of bad things.
Two bad dudes.
Yeah, and she was, she was intelligent, right? She was intelligent, right? And she picked up lessons, and she really became somebody who you respect and had good understanding of how the kingdom worked because of everything she's gone through, right? So for her becoming the Queen of the North, right, and even asking Bran hey, give me the freaking North because it's mine
No,
now.
para
Right?
sa akin, the way I
Right?
saw
So
it was like,
it came. I think the personality came out, right?
uh-huh.
Right.
So you like that.
I thought that it made. I thought that her story played out perfectly, and it was okay. I mean, it wasn't a big deal, right?
I was slightly annoyed, especially that scene. Everyone's like, okay, we agree. And Sansa was like, it's like an ate telling her little girl, hey, I'm not bowing down to you for shit.
Yeah,
you know what
yeah.
I mean? It's kind of,
Because I think
irritating.
exactly because it's her personality now that
I need to be queen, or
Yeah,
she needs to be independent.
I need,
know.
I'm smart enough to run my own country, right?
Yeah, I
and
guess.
after everything that Winterfell's gone through, right? Maybe we need some time alone, right?
That's true.
Right?
They've been through a lot.
Yeah, and it's actually, is it an allusion to Great Britain being part of the EU but not part of the EU?
Ah, nice
Right?
one.
So,
Yeah.
right? We're our own country,
That's true. That's
Right.
true. What's your take on Bran as the fucking king of the Six Kingdoms?
I'm
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm disappointed. I mean,
really?
I could see him, yes, as the king. It made sense, but
Uh-huh.
his story didn't add up to him being the king, right?
Okay.
Like he was supposed to be beyond man because he's the three-eyed raven, right?
Yeah.
But him becoming king again, he puts himself in the realms of men again. So
But he becomes the king. He becomes like the top of the food chain. He's
Yeah.
the top of the food chain.
right, but they picked him. But remember, they picked him because he is full of stories and he sees everything, right? So it's a great advantage for a king. But
Yeah.
the next king won't have that, or next queen won't have that. How do you pick the next queen and king, right?
With voting, they will.
Yeah, vote. They have to vote, right?
Monarchs will vote. But then him as king. Oh, so if you're not happy with him as king, who would you have had as king?
Oof.
That is the
Well, yeah.
question.
For me,
If you wish list, I mean, fan
Right, I-
theories.
you know,
That's
I
the fun
think-
thing about it.
who would have been a good king, Sir Davos.
Wow, really?
I liked him. I think.
Yeah,
he,
I love him. Don't get me
I
wrong,
think
I
he
love
would have been the right. If not the king, he would have been. He had a very good moral compass.
Mhm.
He was very strategic. He was a good general,
Mhm.
right? He had he
And a lover of peace.
yeah he is the perfect if you look at countries in history where there's a post like after a civil war regime, you need like a general or something
Mhm.
who will just stay there just to make sure for the transition to democracy or
Mhm.
liberal voting.
Mhm.
He's the perfect architect for that archetype, right? He is not beholden to anybody,
Mhm.
right? Because he was supposed to be with what's his name,
Stannis.
the Boltons, right? No, sorry, no, Stannis, right?
Stannis Baratheon.
Baratheon, and then he moved on to Jon,
Jon.
right? But it wasn't because he was transferring like changing
Loyalties.
loyalty. He was because he's following his moral compass. These were the
Yeah.
right guys, right? And when
That's a nice pick. I like
when
that.
Baratheon lost his moral compass, he was kind of pissed, right? And he was
very
angry.
pissed. He
was
even
yeah.
he defied it a lot
Exactly,
of
right?
times.
So he was the best guy there, not Bran. Even it makes sense that he would have been the king, and then Bran will become the three-eyed raven, and Sam will be his advisor, right? That's the perfect setup. So
That's a good
and it's
setup.
and it's a good story too because he is, he is the son of he's not royalty, right? He's not royalty.
Ako naman, that's my concern, is that he's not noble, he's not of noble. But again,
Yeah.
as you said, it can work.
Right, but
That way too.
I guess this is fantasy medieval where they still like bloodlines and everything.
Exactly.
But-
no, but this is already them reinventing.
Exactly. So if they're gonna reinvent the wheel, why pick a bloodline, right?
That's true.
Might as well pick something like that, right?
No, sabagay, because I think of all the characters, because one of the things that I observed was Bran was the only one who didn't do anything quote unquote bad or against. But then again, si Davos did. Wala din. He
Yeah.
has-
And
he
but
didn't really.
Bran didn't really do anything good too, in a way, right? So
Sabagay, but kept himself alive.
he kept himself alive.
He did
But
keep himself alive.
Sir Davos had a moral compass,
He did.
and I think any leader, the two supposedly had a moral compass was him and Jon. But
Uh-huh.
Jon is, he has low EQ. Right? He had freaking low EQ, right? So he had, he's always
Yeah.
affected by love, like duty, right? But Sir Davos, he was he's the perfect archetype. I think he would have been the perfect king.
That would have been.
Right. So yeah, that's my take.
There's no easy way to say goodbye. There's no easy way to break somebody's heart. That's
beloved, especially beloved characters like those guys,
you know.
right? It'd be hard to say goodbye.
It's hard. It's hard to really, and the show has always been about subverting expectations. You know, so you don't get your happy ending. Well, happy enough, I guess, as far as Westeros goes. That's as happy as you can get, and respect what the writers did. I love what Jacob Anderson, Grey Worm, he in an interview, I forget which interview it was, but in an interview he said, he was asked, what's your opinion of the fans' backlash on what you've done with the season? He said, I find it disrespectful because we worked hard for this. We did our best, and like it or not, it's the best that we could have done. So I'm like, respect that, and I do, and I love it for what it is, and yeah, that's it, bro.
Well, thank you for having me.
Thanks, Howard, for being here, man. Again, thanks for listening, guys. Tagish Network is the channel. TAAAAMBBAAY TV is the show. It's on YouTube and on Facebook. Give it a like and a subscribe. Once again, I'm Pyle Fajardo. With me is Howard Ko. Thank you so much for spending this time with us, brother. Adios!